Okay, are we live? Well, not live, but recording? Yes, well, I can't see the screen actually, because I've got it sort of positioned vertically and I'm practically above it. So if I look down, I probably see, well, none of the screen. I can't see any of the display. I can just about see the light in it, but no. So I have to kind of lean right back to know for recording. And I only need to do that once, of course. Although I'm using a new app today for making this video, and I'm not quite yet used to it, so I might need to lean back. Maybe when I stop to cross roads, I'll check still recording. For the time being, I'll trust it. More than you can say for what I'm going to do with the drivers. So, by way of explanation, I go back through the yards to a certain stage in the ride. I like to stay off the roads, as I don't know if you've seen the videos, but I have explained. I just feel more comfortable that way because clearly I can't go fast in these areas. This is the first sort of kilometre, perhaps and a half minimum, maybe 2 kilometers, just a warm up really. And then parts of the ride, I haven't decided where I'm going to go this ride actually, but parts of the ride you'll see. Hold on a minute, you just negotiate this corner. Right, parts of the ride you'll see, I don't know, may clash slightly with what I showed you, what I recorded a couple of days ago. But the point is, my plan is not to record on routes which I've already been on. So me coming through here now, recording this because I've not showed you this before. Okay, but if I come this way tomorrow, I'm not going to record, or if I am, I'm not going to upload it to YouTube. And I'm sure no one would appreciate it if I did. So the idea of this channel really is to share things, but not to repeat share things unless there's demand for it, and to be honest, I don't think there will be. That's not to put myself down, but come on, who wants to watch a cyclist ride the same route again and again? Maybe have something slightly different to say. I wouldn't, and neither would you. Still, there are a lot of places in Almaty to go, and actually I remarked earlier to a friend that, if I do pursue this channel, it's quite useful for me to motivate me to get onto new routes, because I've been on most of the routes, and finding new places to go is, well, not impossible, but so feeling that I can go and record a route, that I've ridden it before, I haven't recorded it before, then I think probably inject some variety into my cycling life. And maybe I'll even get to 12 subscribers if I do it that way. Oh, I thought that man had an accordion then. Right, strangely enough that light's green on the right, but I'm going to go this way because I'm sure it's going to change. Usually does by the time I get to it. And yes, spot on. The only drawback is now I'll have to wait for the crossing light to go green, and that's could probably seem like half an hour, although it'll only be 35 seconds, I think. Pushing it. I don't know if you can tell, or if you've even considered, but no way, I'm not going to ride across here or across crossings. You've just got to look in so many different directions, and I don't want to have to pay a fine. Right, should be a couple of seconds. Yeah. Even then, obviously, traffic's still passing through from previous lights change is still waiting for me, you know, puts you under pressure to get through a little bit faster, even though you have the right of way, you know. So that's what happened there. Now again, I'm riding on pavement. I'm not proud of it, but I'm putting straight on the pavement now, so you could argue I could have walked up, but there's nowhere. I'm going to go up the road on the other side and then cross and come back, and it would be unworkable. Oh, this is I think it's a really nice part of town, this. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's clearly Soviet Union construction and Soviet Union design, and that doesn't necessarily make it good for that reason, but I just do think they made this place very nice. And yeah, they've seen better days, but some of these older buildings are stronger than some of the new ones. Still, I'm not sightseeing, so speed bump. Not afraid of speed bumps because I've got my phone perched on some mount which is tightened up. I don't know how strong it's going to be, you know, and I'm knocking the phone out. I could do without that. It seems tight enough, but you never know, do you? And quite rightly, there are speed bumps in this area. It's children playing, you know, we've got cars coming through quickly. I don't need to explain why, so I won't. But I'm not unhappy to have speed bumps here for my safety as well. And I wish there were more speed bumps, to be fair. Although I secretly do wish there were little gaps through to ride. Maybe they're trying to slow me down too. Without stopping to consider that middle age has probably done that. I'm not saying I'm bad, but when I was 28, I had faint hopes, and they were very faint, but faint hopes of joining the British team at track cycling. And people say, oh, what went wrong? Well, nothing went wrong really. I wasn't quite as good as I'd hoped, and I don't know how good Jason Quealy is these days, but one of my, not contemporaries, no, the guy doesn't know who I am. But I used to train in the group before his, and that doesn't really mean anything, cause it's just a timetabling thing. But no, I was in the pre-good cyclists group, which means I was a pre-good cyclist, and not quite a good cyclist. A hopeful.
4 o'clock. 20 minutes.
Be very careful, because you know, scooters and even mopeds, pavements. A bit stupid really, but I was on the pavement myself on a bike. I shouldn't do that. No, when I was 28, yes, I had hopes of becoming a pretty good cyclist, track cyclist. I didn't quite have the endurance to do tours, but life took over, you know. Used to train in Manchester, but it took me so long to get there. And I've probably had more than one evening or night where I spent the whole night in railway station in Manchester. The whole night. Because I couldn't get back. Because training went on and couldn't get to the station for the last train. Didn't have the money for a hotel. So I just lost heart, you know, and I probably knew in my lost heart that I wasn't going to make it. And then I had to choose between going to Italy to live and trying to make something as a track cyclist. And I just chose to go to Italy, although part of the reasoning was that, oh, they've got to be tracks. Every town in Italy has got to have a bike arena, velodrome. Nope, not where I went. So I drifted away, or not drifted away, kind of lurched away from cycling. I don't think I rode a boke. I've never ridden a boke. I don't think I rode a bike for about 10 years after that. Not because I was bitter, just didn't have a chance. got into teaching, and well, I guess that's enough. You get the message. But just when I introduced this sort of little anecdote, I suppose I would have said something most people wouldn't believe, that I used to be the rising star of the track. So I just thought I'd explain the story a little bit. One of those things that's very easy to dress up, and I guess I dressed it up at the time, but no, I never would have made it. Not really, even nearly. Say, just perhaps if I explain it crudely, Chris Hoy, who won about 7, I think, Olympic gold medals on the track, would have been a 10 out of 10. Bradley Wiggins would have been a 10 out of 10. Jason Queerley would have been a 9, because he only won 1 gold medal, only. I would have been about a 7. And I did my best to get to 8. Really, really did my best. I don't think I ever known hard work like that. But it wasn't to be. Still, probably for the best, I think. Anyway, I should say a little bit more about where I am rather than who I am, because it's not channel about me. I'll probably do my best to make it about me, I promise you. If you get bored of it, mute me. Turn me off. I talk about myself too much, I know it. Or comment below. Talk about something else, and I will try. So, well, I think what to say, we get across this road. Oh, and actually my helmet's skewed, so I need to adjust the strap when I get across the road. Largely because getting across the road is not always an immediate achievement. Right, I'm currently walking, so I'll take advantage of this to adjust my strap, my helmet. Something to sort of annoy me a bit. Right, is anyone coming this way? Well, I am. So what I'm going to do, you may be pleased to know, I'm going to just go up to the cycle path and no, ride along it. No, I'll ride as far as the university, because yesterday's video was from there, so they'll link together, and therefore I won't need to duplicate, and none will be missed out. And like I said before, this is probably the only time I'll record and upload this section, so I may as well just do it. Right, this is a TV channel, studios, and I don't watch TV, so I don't know what kind of stuff they put out, but local TV, local interest, pop music, bit of sport, no idea. The thing about these yards is, yeah, they're going to be cars, but they're not going to be going very fast. But you still have to be really, really careful. Right, just heading to the beginning, well, it's not really the beginning because the cycle path goes all the way across the city, but the beginning of this stretch of the cycle path. Which is shared by mopeds. Surely this can't be right. I don't know. Leave a comment below. Am I being selfish? Mopeds on a cycle path? I don't agree with that. Am I being selfish? And people on it, well, look, we've all done it. I've walked in a cycle path too. I thought, oh my God, I feel so hypocritical. But got to ride round that guy. And the problem is, right, yeah, I look behind me, but you know, like this guy coming down now, if he's coming behind me and I pull out to drive or ride round someone, I mean, just, I don't know, I just don't think that's a good idea. There are actually a lot of people, right, who think that mopeds should be completely banned in this city because they're involved in so many accidents. Not always their fault, but they are honestly involved in so many accidents. Right, another minute or so maximum, in fact probably another 15 seconds. I'm going to leave you, as in switch the video off, because the next 20 minutes, no, 10 minutes of the ride is a stretch I've already filmed and shared, so there's no point doing it again. I'll take you right up to that very point. And anyone keen enough to follow me that closely will recognise that the end point from this ride will be the point that I began the very first ride from, although it's listed as the second video on the channel. Never mind, I'm not very good at this kind of thing. I can pedal and talk. And just about mend a puncture. Anyway, this pretty much is where we leave this video, and if you've watched this far, why? But no, come on, no one wants to hear me slag my own content off, perhaps, but you know, I don't have much of a plan with this. I thought I might share it, see what happens, and okay, I'll give it a couple of months. So, here we go for now. Thank you. Right, now I'll came along here this morning and made a video of it, but it was going the other way. In any case, a minute from now I'll be on completely new territory as far as filming is concerned. So I'm going to ride with it. Now I can't obviously turn the handlebars out, because if I do I'll steer off into the ditch, but see that very tall building? Well, there was another video this morning I made. I'm not going to say you've got to go and watch them all, but I don't want to repeat information. Anyway, so basically a block of it's a business centre and I believe a hotel. I don't know if there are any flats, apartments in there, but probably a bit of everything, I imagine. How many floors? I don't know, 30 floors. I think it's the tallest building in, well, no, Almaty, I can't be sure, but I think so. Not the tallest building in Kazakhstan that I know of. I think there'll be one or two in Astana, but it's not very tall, you know. It'd be a private bathroom in New York, maybe. Still. So what we're doing now, we're heading over to a river. Yes, a river, and there's no doubt it's a river. It kind of has two names, really, Kazakh name and a Russian name. And most people call it by its Russian name, which is Vesnovka. Or it can be called Yesentai. And I tend to... Well, I only have the right of way, but he obviously has more money than I do. So it means he has the right of way. I'm not sure how that works, but he would argue his case. I'll let him get on with it. Still, Vesnovka or Yesentai, I tend to wave it between the two names, really. But still, we're going with Vesnovka now. And I can honestly say I don't know where exactly to. Because from here there are only two options, and that's one side of Vesnovka or the other side. And I'll head to the left, prefer that way, I don't know why. But when you get to the first point where it crosses a road, then there are a number of options from there. I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to take. So for now, you can bear to hear me out of breath. Then here we go. I'll probably give you a sort of a panorama, sort of a shot of where we're going. Hold on a moment. Probably went a little fast up that bump there, but now I'm done. Get a better view if I lift the bike up. Well, that's the way home anyway. I probably came too far along over the bridge to get the angle I just said would be a useful shot. I should have stayed on the other side. You'd have seen right up the river, but you'll see that now anyway. Now there's no doubt whatsoever at all that guy is better than me, better bike, youth, but I'm going to see if I can keep with him. Clearly not managing it so far, but this is a downhill section and he'll be on the flat soon, so I'll make up some of that. No, it's not a race, just if that motivates me to work a little bit harder, so be it. If I overtake him, I'm not going to say anything to him. look him in the face. Oh, come on, mate. But it's just a little bit of extra incentive for me. And well, you can see up the river now. Pretty nice. Again, it's not the Danube, I'm sure, but this is nice. Come on. And the danger is when you set yourself up against someone, even though they are not racing, and he doesn't care how fast I go. But if I ride past him, there's always this possibility that he might take that as a challenge. And then I'm knackered. And off he shoots up the hill. So I might not bother actually. He's clearly better than me. He's not even trying it. Miles ahead of me. Still. So up here, right? I'm not sure how old this sort of riverside path is. Probably 10 years old. Personally didn't discover it properly until last year when I had to find a new route home because of my usual route was blocked for cyclists for safety reasons, and quite rightly so. You know, you've got a narrow path where you've got kids, toddlers and stuff, and people riding down on bikes with no brakes, so they had to do it. And I was a bit pissed off at the time because I used to like that route, but it forced me to just look elsewhere, and I found 10 or 15 better options. So I know it's a cliche, but every cloud, not there are many clouds in the sky today. Now this stretch coming up is not that steep, but it is deceptive. Hold on, I don't want to come off going across this hose pipe at some stupid angle. So go across it laterally, I think, probably. But I did. Anyway, this is deceptive. It doesn't look hard. And it isn't really, but it's harder than it looks. And even if you've ridden up it 100 times, it gets you. Now I've got a Strava account, you know, I ride Strava, and I like to do segment riding, and this particular segment did my fastest time the first time I ever rode it. I never got near it since. Well, near it, but you know, 30 seconds, quite a lot really. So right, usually at the bridge I get down into bottom gear. Yes, I know, make the effort, but sticking second for now. I've got to bring any water with me, and well, I was shooting out of the ground there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me lean back. Oh, easily, yeah. I'm not going to drink that. But I've got to bring any water with me. The next shop's nearly an hour away, or the next shop on this particular route. Probably decided where I'm going to go. It's an hour away, and it's 35 degrees, so it's struggling a little bit. I had a couple of litres before I came out. For that reason, I forgot to bring water. Not so much forgot, but I left my bottle at home this morning, and oh, never mind. Anyway, that guy I was supposed to be hitting myself against, he must have sensed it. He must have known. Rocketed up the hill. Didn't leave me any chance. I didn't actually try in the end, but I wouldn't have got anywhere near him. I mean, you can hear I'm pretty exhausted now. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Just means I'm working hard. Check my pulse rate actually. $166. Well, I've done 50 this year, so that should be considered pretty high, but got 14 beats per minute over that. A serious effort, short duration, quick bursts. So kind of fairly happy with 165 as it is now. Now, super cyclists coming down, right? I don't know who they are, probably very irresponsible, but they're going to be going fast. You've got kids on here. It's dangerous. Oh my god, just seen that other guy up in front, half kilometre now. No, actually that was a wild guess, can't be half kilometre, 200 metres though, easily. I say it can't be half a kilometre because from here to the end of this part of the segment isn't half a kilometre. So half a kilometre does not go into 400 metres. And I've just had an idea. I said I was going to make a video to just show, you know, Garmin Varia, how it works for those who don't know it. So at the top of it, I'm going to turn this video off. It covers a pretty logical stretch of cycling, and again, I will make my mind up finally 100% where I'm going to go when I get to the top. But let's knock this video on the head, do the Garmin video. I'm actually going to do it in Russian because there are plenty on the market already. You know, if you want to know how Garmin Varia works, you go to YouTube, stick it in, 200 videos in English, and there are a few in Russian, but this kind of for people that are on my Strava list, who are pretty much all Russian speakers. A lot of them are English speakers as well, and a lot of them have already got Garmin Varia. But that's how I decided I was going to do it. So it seems to go on forever, this. Funny that, you know, people say, oh, they like this, they like that, or, you know, they like cycling. But a lot of time it hurts. And do I like the way I feel now? No. but you still do it. Partly the way you beat it. Get to the top when you stop. That's it. Feel £1,000,000. Right, 100 meters to the top. Could probably run it faster than this. Not me, but I just mean some people. Okay, that'll do for this film. And
5 o'clock.
Oh, 5 o'clock. Ah, no, you won't hear it this time. My speaking clock because I've got earphones on. So. Right. I have to walk the first little bit, not because of the road particularly, but just I timed it very badly. Two people coming up the pavement, and I can't get onto the road yet. The cars come in. So I may as well walk to the corner. Oh, very nice man who wants to move out that way. I thought he was going to walk in the road. It was still very nice of him, but I did think he was going to walk in the road. No, may as well just walk up to the corner because you have to dismount there anyway, because you see that car turning right. 95% of cars turn right. So there's almost an assumption on the part of the other drivers that people turn right here. Posh enough, posh enough. Posh on the other side. There's almost an assumption on the part of drivers that people turn right here. So, not risking that. I walk straight across or I ride straight across here. They think I'm turning right? Nah. I know it's not very likely, I suppose, to see someone on a bike, But honestly, I've stood here trying to get across this road and they almost always turn right. And that's where it leads. And I know where it leads, but I'm not going that way. All this walking is probably starting to seem like, I've had enough and I want to rest. No, not quite. Oh. Yep, moving. Okay then, so moving again. I don't really like this stretch of road, to be fair, but 150 metres on the road, then we're back off-road, or not so much off-road, but off busy road. Just realised I'm almost in bottom gear. Now there's another problem with this road because I'm turning left, but once again, if you look straight up in front, there are a lot of people that just go straight up there. So, like this guy, the best thing to do, as far as I can work it out, is to come this way a little bit. Check there's nothing coming, and then go back round. Probably did go a little bit too far. Didn't need to go that far, but someone else coming now, you know. Oh, please. Which way people are going. Right. At least now I know if the car comes behind me. At least I know which way it's going. That way. It helps to know that. Still, that just as I cross that junction, it's not usually nearly that bad. Yeah, clearly it's a 3-4 way junction, yeah, fine, but anyway. Right. And I usually stop here for a drink of water, but now, me stopping, right, so I have a drink of water, I don't have water, you've already heard me say that. This is quite a hill. It's also quite a popular segment locally, so, you know, I don't want to end up riding up in 5 minutes, which probably will today actually, but the record's under 2 minutes. It's only a couple hundred meters, but sort of 15%, you know, so it's a very stiff challenge. Plenty of hills on this route, but this is the steepest, toughest. Right, no shame going to Bob Gear now. Right, that's probably already the King of the Mountains time, although the King of the Mountains here is actually Queen of the Mountains, at least last time I checked. I was myself for a while, but you know, I'm not the first person ever to ride up here, of course not, but it was not really on anyone's route anywhere. And as I don't claim to have popularized it, but people will have seen where I rode, and they will have seen where I rode after the segment. And it turns out it's a quick way to some tracks people ride on. So after that, a lot of people started riding up here to get there through a little wood, which we'll come into. You can probably already see it. But for now, our main priority is to get up to the top of this segment in less than an hour. I'm actually doing okay. Not slowed down. I haven't gone very fast, but steady pace. Probably end up being 4 minutes, and that'll be about average for me. Remember what I said, 35 degrees, I think now. Thank you, dog, for being on a chain. Okay, not so good, but it's a hot one, so I won't beat myself up over that. And I won't know my time anyway, so till I get home. As yes, I got Strava on, but I'm actually in flight mode, so it records the ride, but there's no indication of how you did on segments, and that's okay. So not that important. If I need to know my segment times for a rider, I'll stick it off flight mode. So keep saying so and stopping, don't I? Plus can't think of anything to say, and I do, but there's a big pause in between, so I just did it again, didn't I? No, it's not really a problem. I don't think I want it to define me though. Okay, now this section here, I gave it a joke name on Strava. Woolly Mammoths. No one's asked me why, but good, because there isn't really a reason. However, what happened was the first time I was riding, I thought I saw a bear. No, there are no bears here. But just this bush looked like a bear. You know, I stopped and looked ahead and I thought, is that a bear? Well, it wasn't. And I knew it wasn't, but you know, always like to be sure. And when I got back, I decided to name the segment Be Careful Bears, just as a joke. But I thought someone might take it seriously, as in maybe there's really a bear here. So I decided to call this segment Be Careful Wolves, Bears, Snakes and Woolly Mammoths. And I ended up renaming it Be Careful Woolly Mammoths Here. I don't suppose that's funny. Ooh, neither was knackering my pedal on a tree stump. It's getting overgrown, this, you know, it's not difficult to ride, but you can't see your traction, or, well, I don't know, do you see your traction in cycling? Just checking, I'm still recording now. Screen's changed a little bit. I can't see where your pedals are, your wheels are, and if you know the path, yeah, you've got an idea, but just things can change. And I don't mean tree stumps, you know, tree, not trunks, but branches fall and you can't see them. I suspect I should probably shut up for a bit until I get my bearings back. Anyway, here we go. Watch out for woolly mammoths. You're okay on the video. I might not be, but you are. And if you see you at the other end, be the home straight and the hardest part of the ride to go. Whoa, no way was that tree trunk there before. Not at that angle. No way. Probably one of the mammoths knocked it over. It's annoying here because there's a branch right across. I tried to move it off, but no, it's embedded. And then you come around here and you lose your momentum, and, and this hill, it's not much of a hill, nothing at all really, but you were hoping to go through at the same speed, and you get to this hill, no, not if you're as bad as me.
O'clock. 20 minutes.
So overgrown. The path's okay, but just that on each side there's so much overgrowth that it spreads out across the path, and especially we've got wide handlebars. There's always the risk that's going to pull you somehow offline. That was the other day actually. Handlebar caught around a branch and didn't break through. It wasn't going too fast, but it came, not off, didn't fall to the ground, but certainly came off. Got my foot down. It was alright, but it's a valuable lesson. You think, oh, you should know things. Like, yeah, you do, but you know, little things come along and you learn from them, even if you should have learned it 40 years ago. You were lucky enough to get away with it for 40 years. That's it. You can't necessarily learn to be lucky all the time. Right, this part here now, coming out now. I don't know the area, the name, rather, I know the area very well, but the name here, I have a feeling it may be called Biespont. I don't know that for sure. And when you get to it, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But I don't know much more about it. It's an area of gravel tracks. Why they were put here, what they were, and who they're for, I don't know. But they've gone to... They've gone to quite a lot of trouble to make sure cars don't come here. So, you know, is this a gesture for cyclists, gravel riding? I don't know. Plenty of runners come here, some cyclists. Probably I'm the only one who comes here regularly, but I only do a couple of 100 metres and then turn off. Still, if we attempt to get back on, the only reason I came off then is because I just got the angle completely wrong. And I won't lie to you, now I was happy to have a little break before I ride up here. But that wasn't the plan. any decent rider could have just ridden through there. Didn't feel I had quite the kick. Anyway, in a minute I'm going to knock this video on the head, and then I'll begin the penultimate video of the ride, and I'll explain that when I get to it. But when you watch this, I might link all these videos together in Video Editor. So with me saying now, oh, it's the end of the video, it might not be. Maybe it's the end of the video because you're going to stop watching. I keep saying it, don't blame me. It's being honest. It's being honest, no one's obliged. But if you do watch the next probably half an hour before I get home, at least, you might pick up a few tips. Well, it depends where you are. If you're not in Almaty, you won't pick much up. But if you are, think somewhere to go riding, yeah, the next road, pleasant challenge. And we'll very soon be able to hook up with it. So either in the next video or in the next couple of frames, I'll tell you about it. Oh, have a look at the view before I do. So I've just come from, and so is that, in a different kind of way. And I'm not going around there because I'm going up here. Wish me luck. Right, I don't know how many of you wish me luck. If everyone who's watching this wished me luck, that's not a lot of luck. But I appreciate it anyway. Now, I can't give you much information about where I'm going. I just know there's a track and then there's a road. It's a dead end for cars. Yes, you can see bikes and get past, people walking can get past, but not a lot of people come down here. Problem is, when they do, they don't go with everything they came with. And I know, I've been there, people have had a drink. You don't always think about things like that. It's a pity, really. So, building on the right, I have no idea what it is. I've seen someone in there, and my guess would be that he'd been paid to do something. Observe, possibly to stay to inform the police if people come down, descend and cause a nuisance. Would make sense, but I haven't seen him for a long time now, not since last year. And the doors are always padlocked. So I guess maybe he quit. I don't know, maybe retrained as a lawyer or something. No, okay, I know I'm walking up here. I shouldn't be, I don't usually. I've just realised because I'm talking. But I am pretty hot. And so, well, I don't remember what time it was when I mentioned the shop being an hour away, but it's still 25 minutes away. And I'll park outside the shop and strip my bike down practically. You know, I can't leave my Garmin Vario on it Can't leave my phones on. I've got two smartphones for different reasons. Even the cheap little light at the front, you know, you would never know. I'm not saying this place is crime capital of the world. Not really, no. I probably be far more reluctant to leave my bike in London than I am here and going to a shop. Still. Okay, it's about time I got back on, isn't it? So this street's called Kedbulakskaya. And when I've checked I'm still recording, it appears to be. Turn off my suspension, because it's going uphill, you don't need it. And I mean uphill. And my record on this segment to the shop, where the shop is 16 minutes, but not in 35 degrees of heat, when I need a drink. So it's going to be no less than 20 minutes, probably 25, before I get to have a drink of water. So I'm not going to push it very hard. I'm already dry, shall we say, with English idiom for anyone who's not a native speaker. Spitting feathers means you're thirsty. Doesn't mean alcohol, by the way. You want a drink? No, any drink at all. And I don't drink alcohol, so those of you who know me, I hope you know that about me. Bottle of water, preferably fizzy and definitely chilled. Now, before anyone says bad for you, well, I don't do much that's quite bad for me. Sure, we'll have to have some kind of vice. Still, that's another word I keep saying and then stopping, isn't it? Still. So still. So still. This is actually not that bad a hill. Of course, you know I'm joking, but be out of breath riding up this bit. Some of the ones coming expect tougher. Well, I'm the one who's doing the work, but it's just as painful for you. Oh, I can hear a vehicle. Would be the first time ever this far down. It can't be behind me because just come up the road there. There were no cars. Now the same applies to this point here, but on the left you can't see very well. There'll be one on the left soon. I think, did I just say left instead of right? One on either side. Tracks, people go in there for barbecues and stuff like that. So I think there's nothing coming, nothing behind you because you haven't seen any car down there. Doesn't apply when you get to this point. Although it's not likely, it's possible. So keep my eye on the radar screen. Now people think, oh, radar, not sophisticated like an airline gives its planes, but just simply something, it shines something. I don't know how radar really works, but it shines something behind, if something coming towards you, that's it. It tells you what's behind, 45-degree angle, but can't tell me what's coming from the side or in front. I'm supposed to watch for those things. So now this hill's a bit funny. It always gets me. As in, surprises me. Even now, you know, even I've just said that, still just don't expect it to be hard. Right, I'm going to need to stop in a minute because I've got a headband. It's saturated. Need to wring it out. I'll show you. You might not thank me for it, but I'll show you. I'm an interview now. I'm Almaty Mountains. Wish I could sound more enthusiastic, but say I'm knackered, so. I'll leave the enthusiasm to you. And here you go. And this is where I live. So another couple hundred meters, the place I often stop for a drink when I'm spitting feathers, which I definitely am now, but I've already explained. I'm not going to drink the sweat from my saturated headband either. I've actually got a filter, little cartridge in my rucksack, filter water to drink, but it's for emergencies. And my reluctance doesn't really come from any doubts as to the water here. I mean, just come straight from the mountains, but just I know there's a shop coming up, that's all. So, it's my usual, well, not usual, no, occasionally I ride straight through. I'm not going to stop if I'm trying to get a good time, but I invariably stop here for a drink of water. And I usually change my headband, but I didn't bring a second one today, so I have to make do. Don't know why I didn't bring a second one, just bad planning. They've all been in the wash recently anyway, so probably just bung them all in the basket and went ahead with what I got in my bag. Right, quick as you can now. Probably just straighten the handlebars up a bit. You'll see that hill coming up now. It's the hardest part of the ride. The hill, I don't know if it was on this video or the other, but the hill that I've been on this ride today, I don't remember exactly what I said about it, but probably half an hour ago on the ride. It's steeper than this, but it's not as long. And this is tough just because, you know, you always think, oh, I'm nearly there, I'm nearly there. It's one of those hills where you think you're nearly there. And, well, you are, but not nearly enough. So here we go. Shouldn't be any trouble, but it's one of those things that you only enjoy after you finish. I was just about to say, like teaching then. It's not true, it's a great job. Now, check I'm still recording. It'd be kind of a shame to go up here and not record it, so bear with me while I just stop a second. Or was there a car in there? I don't know. None of my business, but well, it says 12 minutes, 2, 3, 4, so let's assume I am still recording. Actually, I just told you a little bit of a porky pie then. It's not the hardest part of the ride. The hardest part of the ride is the bit after you've been to the shop. A big drink of water and fizzy water, so obviously you have to wait for a little bit for it to settle. And then you ride up to the observatory. That's tough. You'll see. Right, bottom gear. Oh, not quite momentum for it, but chain got up. Oops, I am on the wrong side of the road. Grommet. I don't like it here in one way. See, this is a little countryside park, and occasionally, or maybe more than occasionally, you've got people in this garden here and see you riding up. Oh, okay, I look like I'm struggling, I suppose. Shouldn't be too proud, but I'm not really struggling. Steady pace, all the way to the top.
5 o'clock. 40 minutes.
And they say, oh, tiażole, this is Russian for heavy or hard work. And again, I don't suppose they mean anything negative by it, but it just feels, oh, you're unfit. And that's what they see. Well, that may be true, but I don't want to be reminded of it, so I always feel, I always have to reply, oh, well, what's hard work? What's hard work? Oh, I don't see any hard work up here. And then they watch you to see if you can get to the top without stopping. And you know that they're watching you. Well, I can. And almost have. Now there's a paintball centre here, but I've never seen anyone using it. And it's not like I always understood paintball to be. Stick the camera across, you can have a look. But I've never been paintballing, but I always thought it was like people running around forest, and obviously there's a bit more to it than that, but this just appears to be a sort of like shooting range, shoot each other and with paint. But honestly, judge for yourselves. Sorry, pick the bike up very easily now. It's overgrown. Just don't remember ever seeing anyone using it. So look in here now. Never seen anyone in there. Well, never mind. Same again here. Okay, the gate's open, but that doesn't prove anything, does it? Have a proper look. So if you're in Almaty, you want to try paintballing, yeah, maybe they do still take bookings. But not from anyone I know. Right, be very careful in this corner now. It's not totally blind, but it's only practicing. No, there is a little bit more downhill coming, but before, this is one of the worst parts of the ride coming up. You can probably see the top, that hill there, the top. Pretty lucky really that there's a field next to it that I can cut into, because the very top of that hill, when I'm kind of tired and struggling up, managing but struggling, the car comes around that corner. They may not see you. So I'll show you, you'll see in a minute, probably 5 minutes at this pace. Just sneak off the road, little cow path into a field, and then round to the end of that particular stretch of road. And I came up it yesterday, and as I did, Just my wheel left the road. Car came around the corner at exact time. Not very fast, no, probably would have seen me and stopped, but if I hadn't cut off the road, as you'll see me do now, I don't know, probably nothing. Thing is, if they can't see a bike, so how are they going to react to coming around the corner if there's a car coming? Okay, this 50 meters is the single most difficult short couple of meters on this ride, especially so, one more so because I took off the road. So you see what I mean? I'll stop. I know what you're thinking. Oh, there's a car coming from behind. I know what they'll be thinking as well. But let's just watch this car go up here. I'm not implying the driver's going to do anything wrong. But how's he going to see a bag? And how's the car coming the other way going to see a bike? Now, I would usually ride up here, but I just messed up. So, no excuses. And yes, I'm fenced in for the time being. But